down some key words here. Lifelong. They are indicating a transformative lifelong, meaning from cradle to grave, we are actually supposed to be learning. And global citizenship education is part of it. So if you've reached your terminal degree, that does not mean you won't stop learning. And we should be open to that. And curricular learning, because it has to be embedded in the curriculum so that straight from school, people are educated on how to be useful global citizens. And then practical experiences as such, as in all our endeavors, in our workplaces, in all our activities, we have to exhibit that. I remember quite recently on the 24th of September, there was a global citizenship concert. Yes, and it was held at the Black Star Square concurrently with the one in the US. So it spans beyond, the classroom. We should be educated. And then quickly to also indicate that when we talk about the global competencies, we are talking about competencies such as, empathy, being self-aware, of the issues, not only around you, but beyond. And then, respect for difference, because we all are not the same. And we all have certain potentials. And inclusive education, we will talk about more later on. Curiosity is very important as a competency of a global citizenship. It's important to, collaborate, communicate, a lot beyond your environs. But as quickly as I can, I want to indicate that there are 3 domains worldwide when you talk about global citizenship education. And these 3 domains are the cognitive, socio-emotional, and behavioral domains. And briefly, it's when we talk about the cognitive domain, we are talking about knowledge and thinking skills necessary to better understand the world and its complexities around us. And then the socio-emotional, talking about values, attitudes, and social skills that enable learners to develop the affective, psychosocial, and then the physical skills. And then we are talking about behavioral in terms of performance, practical, and application of the skills, and then engagement. In that case, in schools, they have to engage in the delivery and assessment in these 3 areas. So delivery assessment should be based on these 3 domains.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Prof. And so let me come to Dr. Akumeni. When internationally the educational policies or policies are developed at the international level, it has to trickle down to the national level. And at the national level, you in developing the curriculum, you don't also take wholly what has been decided at the international level. You have to look at your context. And so in talking about global citizenship education, what is the context in Ghana? What are the factors that will call for global citizenship education in Ghana? What is the context?
Okay, thank you very much. If you look at the context, just as you rightly said, such global framework should be crafted in such a way that it will fit for purpose in the local domain. And so here in the Ghanaian context, we are looking at lifelong learning, which Prof. Mari just indicated. Actually, you can have all the degrees, but the issue is that learning shouldn't cease. Learning will only cease when you exit from this planet.
I see.
And so until you are, if only you are alive, regardless of the rich knowledge you have. Why? Because the world is becoming more complex. You see, and day in, day out, new things are coming up. And so we should open ourselves for further learning. And learning here should take place at any time. You see, and if we talk about learning, it can crisscross. The illiterate can equally, in fact, learn from the illiterate and vice versa. And so that's very key. And see, in lifelong learning, there's this component of versatility. You see, we should be versatile. So that, and for that matter, if you look at the 21st century skills, there's a key component called flexibility, which for me is very key. You see, we should be able to adapt and adopt, depend upon the circumstance. And then if you move from there, so we look at, we have global opportunities. In fact, learners today should not learn to fit only the Ghanaian market, but we should learn to fit the global market. Today we can say that even, well, I wouldn't say today, but in recent times, in fact, there's a surge for our students moving outside, some are in China, Asia, America, Europe, name it, pursuing all kinds of degrees. And aside from the degrees, some are also working. And so in this respect, there's a need for us as a nation to also factor in our delivery, how best can we train learners to become global citizens, because opportunities abound. And such opportunities, in fact, is there for grab for those people who avail themselves to constantly learn. Learn because, you see, new technologies are coming every now and then. And so as for learning, it should never cease. And in that space, we can actually engage locally and also engage globally. And also to move on, see, we can also talk about issues. As for issues, they will forever keep on coming. It could be domestic, it could be what? Global. Whoever thought, if you look at the distance between Russia and Ukraine and where we are now, but we are in a global village. And therefore, whatever concerns country A should equally concern country B, regardless of the distance. And so it is very pertinent. Aside from that, you see, the knowledge and the skills and the attitude, you see, which is embedded in this global citizenship. If you look at it, it talks about the 3 domains. Cognitive. If you are not right up here, believe you me, all will do be wrong. But that aside, we need that social aspect. So the socio-emotional, because human beings, we are gregarious. And for that matter, we need to also learn what I normally term as the soft skills. If you're able to get these soft